Nico worked in the quiet colony on the edge of the galaxy. The colony was small but growing. People there were friendly, and life was peaceful. Nico's job was to fix machines that kept the colony running. He was good at his work and liked to learn about new things. One day, while Nico was walking back to his home after work, he heard a strange noise in the forest near the colony. It was not like the usual sounds of birds or wind. This sound was sharp and angry. Nico was curious but careful. He moved closer to see what was happening. As he entered a small clearing, he saw a woman. She was not like any human Nico had seen before. Her skin was a light blue color, and her eyes were big and bright. Her hair flowed like silver threads in the light. She wore a suit that looked like it was made from metal and fabric mixed together. Nico knew she was an alien, but she did not look dangerous at first. Suddenly, without warning, the alien woman attacked Nico. She moved fast and tried to push him away with strong hands. Nico was surprised but did not try to fight her. He took a step back and stayed calm. "Why aren't you afraid of me?" the alien woman said in a voice full of anger. Her eyes burned with strong emotion. "No one is not afraid when I come near." Nico looked at her and smiled softly. "I am not afraid because I want to understand. Maybe you're angry or scared. I want to help if I can." The woman stopped moving. Her anger seemed to shake for a moment. Then she said, "I'm Vela. I come from a world where people fight all the time. I'm used to making others afraid to protect myself. But you are different." Nico nodded. "I am Nico. I live here. I believe that fear does not help us. It only makes things worse. Please, tell me why you are angry." Vela looked at Nico carefully. She lowered her hands and took a breath. "I was running from something. My ship broke down. I needed help, but I was afraid to ask. I thought you would attack me or send soldiers." Nico stepped closer and said, "You do not have to be afraid here. I will help you fix your ship. We can find a way together." Vela's eyes showed a small light of hope. "I have never met someone like you before. Most people see my anger and only want to fight back." Nico smiled again. "I believe that calm and kindness can solve many problems. You're welcome here." Vela looked around the clearing and then at Nico. She felt something she had not felt in a long time. Maybe trust was possible. Maybe she did not have to be alone in this strange place. Nico helped Vela stand up fully. He saw that she was tired and hurt from running. "Come with me. I will show you where we can fix your ship and get you safe." Vela nodded slowly. She was still cautious but wanted to believe. Together, they walked back toward the colony. The sun was setting, and the sky was painted in soft orange and pink colors. As they walked, Nico asked, "Tell me about your world, Vela. What is it like?" Vela thought for a moment. "It is a place where many fights happen. People fear each other. They use anger to survive. It made me strong, but also very lonely." Nico listened carefully. "That sounds hard. Here, we try to live with hope. We believe people can change. Maybe you can find peace here." Vela looked at Nico with surprise. "Peace? I forgot what that feels like." Nico smiled gently. "Maybe you can remember it with time." When they reached the colony, the people looked at Vela with curiosity and a little fear. Nico told them she needed help, and the colony's leaders agreed to assist her. They offered food, water, and a place to rest. Vela felt strange but grateful. She was still angry inside but also tired of fighting. Maybe this place could be different from her home. That night, Nico stayed by Vela's side. He shared stories about his life and the colony. Vela listened quietly. For the first time in a long time, she felt safe. But deep inside, Vela knew the danger she ran from was not far away. She needed to fix her ship quickly. She also needed to learn if she could truly trust these humans. Nico looked at Vela and said, "We will face whatever comes together. You are not alone anymore." Vela felt a strange warmth in her chest. Maybe this was the start of something new. The next morning, sunlight came gently through the windows of the small building where Vela stayed. She sat quietly, watching the colony come to life. People moved around, smiling and talking softly. For a moment, Vela almost forgot her worries. Nico came in with a tray of food. "Good morning," he said with a warm smile. "I brought something for you." Vela took the food but did not eat. She was still thinking about what had happened yesterday. "Why do you want to help me? You do not know me or where I come from." Nico sat down beside her. "Because I believe everyone deserves a chance. And because I think you are not just anger. I want to understand you." Vela looked at Nico's calm face. It was strange to see someone so kind without fear or suspicion. On her world, people always watched each other carefully. Trust was rare. Anger was often a way to protect themselves. "I grew up where fear is common," Vela began slowly. "My people use anger to survive. It is like a shield. When others see my anger, they stay away. They do not try to hurt me." Nico listened closely. "That must be hard." Vela nodded. "It is. Anger makes me strong, but it also keeps me alone. I have not learned how to show anything else." Nico smiled gently. "Sometimes we hide feelings because we do not know if it is safe to show them. But here, you can try. You do not have to be afraid." Vela looked outside. "I want to believe that. But what if I fail? What if I lose control and hurt someone?" "You won't," Nico said with confidence. "I will be here to help you. You can learn to trust." Vela's eyes softened a little. For the first time, she felt hope growing inside her. Just then, the colony's leader, a woman named Mara, came to visit. Mara was strong and wise. She had led the colony for many years. She looked at Vela with kindness. "We will help you fix your ship," Mara said. "But we must also keep the colony safe. Can you tell us why you are running?" Vela looked down. "There's a group hunting me. They want to take me back to my world. I do not want to return." Mara nodded thoughtfully. "We will protect you. But we must be careful. If they find you here, it could bring trouble to us all." Vela felt a cold fear return. She was grateful but worried. How long could she hide? Nico put a hand on her shoulder. "We will face this together. You are not alone anymore." Over the next few days, Nico helped Vela learn about the colony's technology. They worked on fixing her ship using parts from the colony's workshops. Vela was surprised by how different humans were from her people. They did not rush or shout. They worked patiently and talked openly. One evening, after a long day of work, Vela and Nico sat outside under the stars. The sky was clear, and the stars shone brightly. "Tell me about your home, Vela," Nico said softly. "What was it like when you were a child?" Vela looked up at the stars. "It was beautiful, but dangerous. The sky was full of strange colors. But my world was filled with fights and fear. My family taught me to hide my feelings and to be strong." Nico nodded. "That sounds very hard to live with." Vela smiled faintly. "It was. But I never thought there could be a place where people are not afraid of anger. Here, we try to live without fear," Nico said. "We believe that kindness is stronger than anger." Vela looked at him carefully. "You make it sound simple." "It is not always easy," Nico admitted. "But it is worth trying." The next day, Vela found herself thinking about Nico's words. She decided to try something new. When a child in the colony accidentally bumped into her, she did not react with anger. Instead, she smiled gently and helped the child up. The child looked surprised but smiled back. "Are you nice?" Vela laughed softly. "Yes, I want to be." That small moment made Vela feel warm inside. Maybe she could change. But danger was not far away. Late one night, Vela heard noises outside her room. She quickly looked out the window and saw strange figures moving near the colony's edge. She ran to Nico. "They are here," she whispered. "The ones who hunt me." Nico grabbed a communicator. "We must warn the colony. Everyone needs to be ready." Together, they alerted the colony's guards. The people prepared to defend their home. Vela felt her heart race, but she stayed close to Nico. His calm presence gave her strength. The hunters came closer. But the colony's defense was strong. The aliens were surprised by the unity and courage of the humans. After a tense moment, they retreated. Vela watched them leave and felt something new. She was not afraid. Not because there was no danger, but because she knew she had friends. Nico smiled at her. You see, fear does not have to control us. Vela nodded. I want to learn more about your way. I want to be strong like this. Nico looked at her proudly. You already are. The next days were busy. Vela worked harder on her ship, but she also spent time learning about friendship and trust. The colony welcomed her slowly, and she started to feel like she belonged. One afternoon, Mara called Vela to talk. You are changing, Mara said. Not just yourself, but how others see you. Vela smiled. I feel different too. I want to be more than anger. Mara placed a hand on her shoulder. That is the first step to a new life. Vela looked out at the horizon. For the first time, she was not just running from her past. She was ready to face the future. And with Nico by her side, she knew she would not be alone. The colony was waking up to a new day. The sun rose slowly over the hills, casting golden light on the small buildings and fields. Nico was already outside, checking the power systems that kept the colony alive. He liked mornings because everything felt fresh and full of promise. Vela stepped outside her room. Feeling the cool morning air on her skin, she looked around, watching the people moving through their daily routines. There was a calm rhythm here, different from the chaos of her past world. She walked slowly toward the workshop where Nico worked. The place was full of tools, wires, and strange machines. Nico was already there, focused on a broken piece of equipment. Good morning, Vela said softly. Nico looked up and smiled. Good morning, Vela. Ready to help? Vela nodded. Yes, I want to learn how to fix my ship. Nico handed her a small tool. Let's start with this. It is simple, but important. Vela took the tool carefully. She felt nervous, but also excited. Fixing her ship meant freedom and safety. It meant she could face her problems instead of running away. As they worked side by side, Nico showed her how to check circuits and replace parts. He was patient and kind, answering her questions without frustration. Vela noticed how different this was from her world, where help was often mixed with suspicion. You seem calm even when things are hard, Vela said after a while. Nico looked at her. I believe calm helps us think clearly. When we panic, we make mistakes. Vela nodded slowly. I want to be calm like you. Nico smiled. It takes practice, but you are doing well. Their conversation was easy, like a gentle river flowing. Vela felt something she had not felt in a long time: trust. She trusted Nico's words, his actions, and his patience. Later, Mara joined them in the workshop. How's the progress? She asked. Nico looked at the small device in Vela's hands. She is learning quickly. Vela is good with her hands. Mara smiled. That is good. The colony needs people who can work together. Vela looked at Mara. Thank you for helping me. Mara nodded. You are part of this community now. We look out for each other. The words felt strange but comforting. Vela was not used to kindness without conditions. Here, it felt real. That afternoon, Vela and Nico went to the colony's training grounds. Nico wanted to teach her how to protect herself without using anger or fear. This place is different from where you come from, Nico said as they walked. We believe strength comes from control and understanding, not from anger. Vela watched the training exercises. People moved carefully, avoiding harm while defending themselves. It was different from fighting she knew. Nico handed her a practice weapon. Try to focus on calm and movement. Do not think about anger. Vela took a deep breath and tried. At first, her movements were rough and quick, but with Nico's guidance, she learned to slow down and be precise. After hours of practice, Vela felt tired but happy. She realized that strength was not just power, but also patience and control. That was hard, she said, wiping sweat from her brow. Nico laughed. It takes time, but you are improving. As the sun began to set, Vela and Nico sat on a hill, overlooking the colony. The sky was painted with colors of pink and purple. Thank you for teaching me, Vela said quietly. Nico looked at her. You are teaching me too. You remind me why it is important to be kind. Vela smiled. I never thought kindness could be so strong. The peaceful moment was broken by a sudden alarm from the colony. Red lights flashed, and a loud sound echoed through the streets. Nico stood quickly. That is the warning system. Something is wrong. Vela's heart raced. She felt the old fear creeping in, but she held it back. What do? We go to the command center, Nico said. Come with me. Together, they ran through the colony's streets toward the control room. People were gathering, looking worried but ready to help. At the control center, Mara was already there. We have detected unknown ships approaching, she said. We do not know if they are friend or foe. Vela looked at the screens. The ships moved fast and quiet. She felt the weight of danger pressing on her. Nico placed a hand on her shoulder. Remember, fear will not help us. We must be calm and work together. Vela nodded. She felt a strange strength inside, stronger than anger or fear. Mara ordered the colony's defenses to prepare, but she also sent a message to the approaching ships. We want peace, she said firmly. The minutes passed slowly. Everyone waited, holding their breath. Then, a voice came through the communicator. It was the leader of the approaching ships. We come to find the alien named Vela. We mean no harm to the colony. Mara looked at Vela. They want to talk. This is your chance. Vela stepped forward, her heart pounding. She took a deep breath and spoke into the communicator. I do not want to fight. I want to live in peace. The leader responded carefully. We will listen. Nico watched Vela with pride. She had faced her anger and fear and chosen a new path. As the ships landed at the edge of the colony, Vela prepared to meet her past. But this time, she was not alone. She had friends and a new way to face the future. The ships from the strange group had landed on the outskirts of the colony. Their sleek shapes glimmered under the afternoon sun. The people of the colony watched nervously as the visitors stepped out. They wore uniforms that looked unfamiliar and serious, but their leader walked forward with open hands, showing no weapons. Vela's heart beat fast. She looked at the group carefully. These were the ones who had been chasing her across space. Now, they were here, standing before her. Nico stood beside Vela, ready to support her. Mara spoke first. We welcome you to our colony. Let us speak. Peacefully, the leader nodded. We come with a message. Vela belongs to our people. We want her to return. Vela shook her head. I am not a prisoner. I choose my own path. The leader's eyes hardened. You have a duty to your people. You cannot run forever. Nico stepped forward. Vela is here by choice. She has found a new home. We will protect her. The tension in the air grew thick. Everyone waited, unsure what would happen next. Suddenly, one of the visitors moved quickly, drawing a weapon. The colony's guards reacted instantly, raising their own defenses. Vela felt fear rise inside her, but she pushed it down. She raised her hands and shouted, Stop! This will not solve anything. The attackers froze, surprised by her calm voice. The leader took a step back and lowered his weapon. Mara spoke again. We will not allow violence here. Let us find a way to talk. The leader nodded slowly. We will listen, but understand this. If Vela leaves, we will come back. If not, we may have to take action. Vela looked at Nico. I do not want to fight, but I will defend this place. Nico smiled at her. You are not alone. The visitors agreed to meet inside the colony's meeting hall. There, they would try to find a solution. As they walked, Vela felt the weight of the moment. She was caught between two worlds. One was her past, full of fear and duty. The other was her new home, full of hope and friendship. The meeting began with tense silence. The visitors spoke first, telling stories of their world and their need for order. Vela listened carefully. She understood their fears and pressures, but she also knew that she could not return to a life of fear and anger. When it was her turn, Vela spoke with honesty. I respect my people, but I cannot live in fear. I want to be free to choose my own life. Nico added, we believe in peace and respect. Vela is part of our community now. The visitors looked at each other, unsure how to respond. Their leader said, this is difficult, but we will consider your words. The meeting ended, but the threat did not disappear. Vela and the colony knew they had to prepare for whatever might come next. That night, Vela sat alone, thinking about what had happened. She felt the anger she had tried to leave behind stirring inside her. But she also felt something new, courage. Nico found her and sat beside her. "You did well today. You showed strength in a way I have never seen." Vela smiled softly. "I am learning, but I still have much to face." Nico nodded. "We will face it together." The next days were filled with hard work. The colony improved its defenses, and Vela trained with Nico to be ready. But Vela also spent time with the children of the colony. She told them stories of stars and distant worlds. She laughed with them and felt joy she had never known. One afternoon, while repairing her ship, Vela found a small message hidden in the control panel. It was from a friend on her home planet. The message said, "Be careful. Not all want peace. Trust is rare." Vela showed Nico the message. "This means the danger is bigger than we thought." Nico looked serious. "We must be ready for anything." Together, they planned how to protect the colony and find a way to keep peace. Vela's anger sometimes flared, but she remembered Nico's words about calm and control. She was learning to balance her strength with patience. The colony was no longer just a place to hide. It was becoming a home, a place where Vela could be more than her past. One evening, as the sun set, Vela stood with Nico on the hill. They watched the stars appear in the sky. Vela said quietly, "I am afraid sometimes, but I feel stronger, not because of anger, but because of hope." Nico smiled. "That hope will guide us through whatever comes." Together, they looked toward the future, ready to face the hidden threats with courage and friendship. Days passed in the quiet colony. The people worked together, building stronger walls and preparing for any trouble. Vela trained harder with Nico, learning how to protect herself without anger. She was growing stronger, but the weight of the hidden threat still stayed in her mind. One morning, Vela woke early. The sky was clear, and the air was fresh. She decided to visit the workshop before anyone else arrived. She wanted to check the parts they had for her ship. As she worked, a soft voice called her name. Vela turned and saw a man standing at the door. He wore a simple uniform like the visitors who had come before. His face was calm, but his eyes showed a secret. "Hello, Vela," the man said quietly. "My name is Rian. I'm here to talk." Vela felt a sudden tension. She looked around, then back at Rian. "Why are you here?" Rian stepped inside. "I was sent by the leader of my people, but I come with a different message. I want to help you." Vela did not move. "Why should I trust you?" Rian smiled gently. "Because I believe you deserve a choice. I know what they want from you, but I think you can find a better way." Vela studied him carefully. His words sounded true, but she had learned not to trust easily. "What do you want from me?" "Just to listen," Rian said, "and to understand." Vela nodded slowly. "You can talk, but I will decide what to believe." For the next hour, Rian told stories of his world, about the struggles and the fear that shaped their people. He spoke of a desire for peace, but also of many who wanted control and power. Vela listened quietly. She felt a connection, growing, but also a warning inside her heart. Could she trust this stranger? Nico found them talking when he came to the workshop. He looked at Rian and then at Vela. "Do you know this man?" Vela shook her head. "He says he wants to help, but I am not sure." Nico nodded. "We must be careful, but maybe he is a chance for peace." Rian smiled. "I want to work with you both. I believe we can find a way to stop the fighting." Together, they planned to meet with Mara and the colony's leaders. They would talk and see if trust could be built. The meeting was tense. Mara looked at Rian with suspicion. "How can we know you are not a spy?" Rian answered calmly. "I am here because I believe in a future without fear. I want to prove it with actions." Mara studied him for a long moment. Then she said, "We will give you a chance." But we watched closely. Vela felt a strange hope. Maybe there was a way to end the threat without more fighting. In the days that followed, Rian helped with the colony's defenses and shared useful information. He worked with Nico and Vela, showing kindness and respect. One evening, Vela and Rian sat by the fire. The stars shone above them like small diamonds. "Why do you risk so much to help me?" Vela asked softly. Rian looked at her. "Because I believe everyone deserves to choose their own path. And because I see the strength in you." Vela smiled. For the first time without fear. "I want to believe that too." But not everyone in the colony felt the same. Some people whispered that Rian might be dangerous. Some thought Vela was making a mistake. One night, Vela was walking near the edge of the colony when she heard voices. She hid behind a tree and listened. "They say Rian is a spy," a voice said. "We cannot trust him," another voice answered. "But Vela believes him. We must watch her closely." Vela felt a cold sadness. She wanted peace. But suspicion followed her like a shadow. The next day, Vela told Nico about what she heard. "People are afraid. They think I am making a bad choice." Nico nodded. "Fear is hard to overcome. But you have to be patient." Vela looked determined. "I will show them that trust is possible." As days passed, a new problem appeared. A small group from Vela's people arrived unexpectedly. They came with weapons and anger. Their leader, a tall man named Kor, spoke harshly. "Vela must return with us," Kor said. "She belongs to us." Vela stood tall. "I belong here. One choose my own life," Kor sneered. "You are weak to choose peace. You forget your duty." The colony's guards prepared for a fight. Tension filled the air like a storm about to break. But Vela raised her voice. "Listen to me. Fighting will only bring pain. We can find another way." Kor laughed bitterly. "Words are weak. Strength rules." Rian stepped forward. "No, strength is in unity. We can work together." Kor looked at Rian with hatred. "You betray your people." Vela took a deep breath. She felt the anger rise but held it back. She remembered what Nico taught her. Calm and control were stronger than anger. "We will not fight today," Vela said firmly. "But if you threaten this colony, you will face more than words." Kor glared at her and then turned away. His group left, but the threat remained. Vela looked at Nico and Rian. "This is only the beginning. We must be ready." Nico placed a hand on her shoulder. "Together, we are stronger." Rian nodded. "And maybe one day, we will find peace not just here, but everywhere." Vela smiled, feeling hope again. The road was hard, but she was not alone. She had found trust, friendship, and courage. The test of loyalty was not over, but Vela was ready to face it. The morning sun rose gently over the colony, casting long shadows across the fields. Vela stood near the entrance, watching the horizon. The threat from Kor's group still weighed on her mind. She knew they could return at any time. The colony needed strength, but also a plan. Nico joined her, carrying a small data pad. "We have new information from Rian," he said. "There may be others like him who want peace." Vela looked at the data. "People who want to end the fighting?" Nico nodded. "Yes. We could reach out to them. If they join us, the colony will be safer." Vela smiled. That could change everything. Just then, a message arrived from the visitors who had first come to the colony months ago. Their leader wanted to meet again. Vela and Mara agreed to attend the meeting, hoping for more peace talks. This time, they would be prepared. The meeting took place in the colony's main hall. The visitors' leader arrived with a small group. He looked older now, but his eyes were steady. "We have heard about Rian's efforts," he said, "and about your courage, Vela. We want to propose an alliance." Vela's heart beat faster. "An alliance? Yes," the leader continued. "We want to work together to protect peace. But we must also face the threats from Kor's group." Mara looked thoughtful. "We are ready to listen." The leader explained that Kor's group was part of a larger faction that believed only in control and power. They wanted to take over all colonies and force people to obey. "We must unite to stop them," the leader said. "Together, we are stronger." Vela felt hope grow. She looked at Nico, who nodded quietly. "We accept your offer." Vela said, "But we must act carefully. We cannot let fear rule our choices." The leader smiled. "Agreed. We will share our knowledge and resources." Plans began immediately. The colony worked with the visitors to strengthen defenses and prepare for any attack. But more important, they worked on building trust between their people. Rian became a bridge between groups. He shared stories and helped solve small problems. Slowly, fear began to fade, replaced by friendship. One evening, Vela stood with Nico on the hill overlooking the colony. The stars shone bright, and the air was cool. I never thought I could find peace like this, Vela said softly. Nico smiled. Peace is something we build together. It takes courage and patience. Vela nodded. And trust. Suddenly, the alarm sounded. Red lights flashed across the colony. The threat they feared had come. Vela and Nico rushed to the command center. The screen showed Kor's ships approaching fast. Mara's voice was calm but firm. Prepare for defense. But remember, we fight to protect, not to destroy. Vela took a deep breath. She felt fear, but also strength. The ships landed near the colony. Kor and his group came out, ready to fight. Vela stepped forward. This does not have to end in violence, Kor sneered. You are weak. Your friends will fall. Rian and the visitors stood beside Vela. They raised their hands in peace. Suddenly, other ships arrived from the allies Vela and the visitors had contacted. The new forces surrounded Kor's group. Showing strength without violence, Kor looked around, realizing he was outnumbered, and outmatched. Vela spoke clearly. Leave now, and there will be no more fighting. Stay, and you will face defeat. Kor hesitated, then gave a cold nod. We leave. But this is not over. As Kor's ships left, the colony cheered quietly. They had won without bloodshed. Vela felt a deep relief. She turned to Nico and Rian. Thank you for standing with me. Nico smiled. We are stronger together. Rian nodded. And peace is possible when we choose it. That night, the colony celebrated not just a victory, but a new beginning. Vela looked at the stars and felt hope fill her heart. She had faced anger, fear, and danger. But now she knew the true strength was in trust, courage, and friendship. The road ahead was still long, but Vela was ready to walk it, with her friends by her side. The colony was quiet in the early morning light. The stars faded as the sun rose, painting the sky with soft colors. Vela stood on the hill where she often came to think. She watched the colony below, feeling a calm she had never known before. The danger from Kor and his followers had passed, at least for now. The alliance with the visitors and other friendly groups had made the colony stronger. But Vela knew that peace was something to protect every day. Nico approached, carrying 2 cups of warm tea. He handed one to Vela with a gentle smile. The colony is waking up. People are hopeful. Vela took the cup and nodded. Hope feels like a new kind of strength. Nico sat beside her. You have changed this place. Your courage and kindness made others believe. Vela smiled softly. I could not have done it alone. As they talked, Mara joined them, her face bright with relief and pride. The council wants to meet soon. They want to discuss the future. Vela stood and looked toward the colony. Then we must be ready. Our future is in our hands. The meeting was held in the main hall. Leaders from the colony and the visiting groups gathered. They spoke of peace, growth, and working together. Vela listened as Mara spoke. We have a chance to build a better world, one where fear does not rule. Rian stood beside her, adding, trust is the key. We must continue to build it every day. The leaders agreed to form a council made up of members from all groups. They would work together to solve problems and protect the colony. After the meeting, Vela walked through the colony. People greeted her with smiles and nods. Children played freely in the streets. The feeling of community was strong. Vela stopped near the workshop. She saw Nico working on her ship. He looked up and waved, ready for the next step. He asked. Vela nodded. I want to fix my ship and be ready to explore again. But this time, I want to do it with friends. Nico smiled. That is a good plan. Days turned into weeks. Vela learned more about the colony and the universe around her. She helped teach the children, sharing stories of stars and peace. One afternoon, Vela received a message from her home planet. It was from her family. They had heard of her courage and the new life she had built. They wrote, "We are proud of you. We hope to find peace too." Vela felt tears of joy. She knew the road to peace was long, but her actions had made a difference. That evening, Vela, Nico, Mara, and Rion stood together on the hill, watching the sunset. Vela spoke softly. "I once thought strength was about fighting and fear. Now I know it is about trust, courage, and friendship." Nico nodded. "You taught us that." Rion smiled. "And together, we will face the future," Mara added. "A future where all can live freely and peacefully." As the sun disappeared, below the horizon, the colony glowed with lights. The stars appeared one by one. Vela looked up and whispered, "This is just the beginning." The new dawn was coming, bright and full of hope.